Yes, I'm back again with another trading video. This one's a little bit different just because my execution was a different method compared to the previous ones. The market gave us some straight distribution today, so that meant that you were looking for a continuation trend to get in on, which was a little bit different to looking for that immediate smart money reversal. So it's worth sticking around for this one. So I'm going to put you into the charts now just so you can see what I was on about with my entry. Okay, then here we are on the daily graph. As you can see, we have previously taken these two equal highs and we filled the majority of that imbalance there, and we were approaching near all-time highs. As you can see there, we had the previous day's high, which we did take out during the pre-market. Going into the 4-hour then, you can see quite clearly that we did manage to take that high there, and we also did have that new day opening gap here, and that is where the smart money reversal came. And we eventually did get that distribution down. We had this 1-hour FVG which got filled and surpassed very comfortably. We closed beneath it after having price range above the midnight opening price here. There was limited manipulation after the retracement back coming to this previous day high. We took the downside here of this entire range, then went to take the upside of it. So areas of liquidity were cleared on both sides of the market, and then that's what led to that distribution. Onto the 15-minute, this is which gave the clear market maker sell model. So if I go on my fib retracement here and I project the SD ranges, you can see, as you can see here, low risk opportunity there above midnight price, where we had the break of this low there and we had this imbalance there. So you can see that on the 5-minute there, we had that fair value gap. So this there would have provided that low risk opportunity to get in the trade. You can see we had the 10 o'clock wick there, which we failed to take them lows, so we left equal lows. So in my opinion, this here would have been a very valid trade. You could have taken this inversion FVG and we had this fair value gap there. You could have taken that and obviously targeted the equal lows or where you thought price would end up. For me, being the -2 SD region there, that was a clear price target for me. However, because we got that quick distribution to the downside, it left limited opportunities. So you could have also framed this entry amongst this order block. As you can see, we got an up close wick after a reaction to a fair value gap. What would I do? I would use that in segments and use that in quarters. So you can see there 50% of that wick was respected. Because the wick is very large, you would use the wick and not the body of the order block. Again, we got the reaction off there, and then that's where you do frame the inversion setup, because that's a high probability order block after the reaction to that fair value gap. However, if you did miss this, we did take out the previous day's low, but we didn't meet the market terminus. I was very confident that the market would surpass this range here and fill the daily FVG and come into this region here. This there was a retracement point for the market or accumulation point. With that in mind, going into the lunch hours, you can see from the times here, we hit the daily low at 1:45. And we were retracing going into the lunch hour up until 20 past there. So going into the lunch hour, what do you look for? You look for that SMT divergence with ES. We went into that intermediate term fair value gap here, being the 15-minute. Obviously missed this moves there, but that's fine. We got the retracement. It was a shallow one, but it came roughly in this zone there. So when price does reach this reversal point or retracement point, or even accumulation point, you can expect it to come back within this region. So that's why I framed my entry off this point there. I waited until we got that macro period for my entry. So like I was saying, got that SMT divergence there, showing the cracking correlation, got the change in the state of delivery. I actually entered off the break of structure and this mitigation block there, or breaker block, depending on what you want to call it, because technically we didn't sweep liquidity, so I'll call it a mitigation block. So this is what I entered on there. So I entered on this mitigation block after the reaction from this fair value gap there on the 15 minutes. You can see here where I entered. So as soon as price closed above here and then it came back up within this region, that's where I entered. I ended up putting my stop loss above this 1-minute imbalance there. I was very confident that it wouldn't come back and fill and it would leave these highs intact, which is what happened today. So I entered on there. You can see it came back closer into this mitigation block there. Me personally, I think the best entry would have been waiting this 5-minute fair value gap there, which you can see on the chart. And then we also had this order block there. So you had multiple confluences conversion into one with obviously the wick, which is the mitigation block there. And then this eventually led to that distribution. So like I was saying, if you're retracing going into lunch during the macro period, you're very likely to get the next phase of distribution if the daily objectives haven't been met. That's extremely important. That's why the lunch setup was very valid and you could take that. Usually I don't enter during lunch, but this provided the opportunity just because we haven't had a retracement period or any period where we've came back into a high time frame, fair value gap or order block, apart from the 5-minute over here. Very simply, what did I do? I targeted the very low. I was very confident that would be filled, and that is what happened. It got filled. We surpassed this low with ease. So that's why I didn't use this as my swing point, and I targeted the ends of the range. And then you can see there where price ended up. It came all the way down, which definitely shows to me that the market's not ready to hit all-time highs yet. We could see some lower prices first before that happens. So all in all, I'm happy with my execution. Could have been more precise, could have definitely been here. I did manage to get my entry during the macro period, which is the most important thing when the market is most likely to move during the lunch hour. And you can see here, look at that was perfect. Just had it a little bit above the fair value gap fill, and then we eventually got the dump. Cheers for listening to that. It was a little bit different. Like I was saying, it wasn't a smart money reversal which I caught from the top, but it was a very nice day of distribution which I caught during the lunch hour towards that -1 to -1.5 region, so I can't complain too much.